at 7:30. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett here on News 6 Plus and ClickOrlando.com. I'm Bridgett Ellison. Glad to be with you on this Hump Day Wednesday. And, we're waking up with wet windshields and maybe wet grass. We needed some rain overnight, but it got a little rocky. Meteorologist Candace Campos was here early. You said Chief Meteorologist Tom Searles passed the clicker to you.
We call it the passing the baton, right?
Okay.
I got to see Tom today. It's always nice when I get to see Tom. I just rather not see Tom when we're talking about strong storms. But hey, at least today we had some severe storms that created strong enough wind to create some storm reports. But thankfully, when it comes to any widespread concern for any severe weather, it really didn't amount to much, which I will come in early all the time if that means no severe weather.
Yes.
So let's talk about, though, what you can expect later on today. It's a big day here in News 6.
Yes.
We are hitting the road.
Finally.
And I know, it feels like... Now, for viewers at home, they just heard about this right during the Super Bowl, right? With us, this is something we've been working on for a while.
It's so exciting
we
because
would
it's
love
just the first stop.
I know. We'd love for you guys to come out and see the newscast live. Our entire station is going out there, our entire news desk, I guess you could say. Temperatures are going to be nearing 80 degrees by 4 p.m. as we start our newscast. Anchors are going to be out there. The investigators are going to be out there. Free giveaways are also going to be out there.
Bags.
So, yeah. And so overall, we're looking at rain chances at 40%, but that's not going to be super widespread. And I want to show you real quick here what's going on. We're watching a warm front that moved through Central Florida overnight and early this morning. You can see some of that moisture. It's across our southeastern zone. So areas south and east of the I-4 corridor, that's where we are seeing a little more action later on this afternoon as we do get that collision of the east and west coast sea breeze. So with that being said, now rain chances in Orlando, for instance, as you saw with that graphic before, it's up 40%. But areas further south and east throughout Brevard and Osceola County, your rain chances are going to be a little higher, up to about 60 to 70%, where on the flip side of our viewing area, in Flagler and Marion County, your rain chances are down to about 20 to 30%. So it's going to be very dependent on where you're going to be throughout the day. Now, with that being said, some of the storms that we do see will have a marginal risk for strong to severe storms, meaning there will be the isolated threat that some of these stronger storms could turn severe, gusty winds, small hail. Risk of tornadoes still very low, but areas in southern coastal Brevard County will have the highest threat for that, even though it is low. I just want to mention that to you as temperatures today do warm up to near 80 degrees. And look at the next couple of days. We're going to be warming up fast back into the upper 80s by Saturday. Rain chances until then, though, after this afternoon, will start to dry out a little bit. We're watching a cold front come through on Sunday. Brings about another 40% chance of rain, and then we can finally break free from these 80s. For those who, like me, enjoy those 70s, it looks like we'll have a nice little stretch into early next week where temperatures will be back to normal. But we do lose an hour of sleep as you head into your early Sunday morning activities.
Yes, and you know what, too? We also got to watch out for the weather for this.
We got the Arnold Palmer. Yes.
Yes.
I only have one golf graphic allowed in my show. So today it's going to be reopen our golf. Tomorrow it's going to be all about the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill.
Awesome. Can't wait. Thank you, Candace.
You're welcome.
Awesome stuff. And we have Trooper Steve out there already in results one. You're going to do it almost a double today because you're going to head out to, you're going to hit the road over to Rio Pinar today.
That's right. I'm going to be, I figured we'll do the stream today. I'll hang out with some of the East Orange County firefighters, show everyone Station 83 today, keep the segment kind of going. But anytime, you already know, anytime like the crew's getting together for a special event, I like showing up. So I figured why not? I've got some wheels, so I'll drive down there today sometime between the 4 and 7. You know, you and I need our sleep in order to function for the morning show. So I don't know if I'll be out there the whole time, but I'm definitely going to stop by, say hi to some of the folks that show up. Of course, just check out how cool this is what we're doing and going live in the community. I've never seen something like that. It
I know,
reminds
we're
me of
just
like
getting
some
started.
national show. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I like your idea too. You said maybe we can hit the road on a morning.
I I'm glad because when I threw that out there, I didn't talk to you guys, but the idea of that, how cool would that be to have breakfast with Bridget on a live stage somewhere where
I've been
people could
waiting.
actually come out? Like that would be really cool. Or just do the complete morning show out there. I think maybe we swap every now and then a little bit of what's going
Hmm.
on, and that'd be fun. Be fun. I'm
Yeah.
sure the boss is going, "Oh gosh, more logistics," but it'd be cool.
It's news, but it's a show.
Absolutely. So you want to know something before we get to traffic that's really cool?
Mm-hmm.
Breaking news. Breaking
Mm.
news. So the 2024 Harbor House Pause for Peace calendar has come out.
Oh my goodness. You have it? Oh
Look
my
who's
goodness.
on the cover.
Oh my goodness. They're the little
Yes, that
girls.
that is Margaret and Teresa on
Oh
their
my
trip
gosh.
when they were
They look so
up in New
classy.
York. Yep, and they made the cover for the calendar this year
Who took
amongst
that? Did
many
Camila take
of
that picture?
come on, you know I didn't take that photo. Um, and then amongst many other beautiful, look at this one,
Oh, who's
Gatsby.
that? So
I have
cute.
no clue,
Do
but
we have
they are
any other new six
gorgeous.
babies in there?
That's a good question. I'm
We've got to look
sure
through it, but it's
Ginger's
available.
might be in here. It is available. I just got it in the mail today. Look at Booker.
Oh,
Oh my
so
gosh. Oh my
cute.
God.
Those
But I
eyes.
got so excited. It's amazing how no sleep, and all of a sudden you get a calendar in the
I
mail from Harbor
know.
House, and
So
you're in a great
cute.
mood. So,
Yes. So you can
ah,
order that from
that
their
is now
website, Harbor
available.
House. Okay. Harbor
Yes,
House
and
Central
they are
Florida.
available now. And so we did that earlier, late last year. We were posting about them because you could donate for voting. So I threw the girls up there. All the donations go right back to Harbor House. You know, we here at New Six have a great relationship with them. So,
Yes.
that was exciting.
I love it. I love it. And I love what they do to
Yes.
help families going through those difficult transitions to also keep their pets. It's so
Yeah, of
important, so
course, because
comforting. Yeah.
they're family members.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
That's awesome.
all right, let's check out some traffic going on across Central Florida right now, and we'll show you the data maps. So we've been watching this, Bridget, most of the morning. Photojournalist Marcus went up here to Deltona. He's got to go to other things, but Normandy Boulevard, north and southbound, still closed at Sullivan after an earlier crash. Put down some power lines and stuff went all over the place. So linemen are out there making sure that the area is safe and secure before they reopen that. So if you can, Deltona residents, please avoid that as much as possible. Your drive times right now in Osceola County on I-4 to downtown, we're looking at a 30-minute drive. This morning, our drive times are a little high. I'm not sure if it's the wet roadways or if it's the cloudy weather, but just please be careful and
Hmm.
increase that following distance. Downtown Orlando, a little gloomy, but traffic's moving. As long as it's moving, I'm in a good mood. When it's not,
Hmm.
then we got problems. Lee and Anderson, right before we ended the show, we had a crash there, but it has been cleared. But just south of there, if you look at Anderson Street and Edgewater, we do have some delays. That's just north of course, Edgewater High School and Bishop Moore. So please be careful. Brevard County, it's nice, but I wouldn't get in the water. Probably a little gloomy out
Hmm.
there. Temperature's not the best when it comes to the water, but it is hot. My truck's reading 72 degrees outside right now.
Hmm.
Brevard,
Hmm.
95 looking good, 528. A lot of spring breakers coming into town. Please be safe while you're driving out there. We still have Bike Week going on. 95 New Smyrna Beach looking good. Daytona, South Daytona, Port Orange. Again, this is all proactive safety. So mixing with spring break, Bridget, and all these other events going on, people need to be careful. Law
Hmm.
enforcement is zero tolerance this year, and I think this is how the future of Florida spring break is going to be. So people just need to be safe. Outside of that, we're looking good. I'm going to take off here in the next few minutes and head east. Go hang out with my the
East
brothers and
Orange.
sisters in the fire department. Yeah, and hang out and see what's going on over there.
Awesome. I won't say the Q word, but I will see you at 8:30.
Yes, 10
Okay.
a.m. 10 a.m. today.
Oh, 10 a.m. Sorry. All right. 10 a.m. See you
Yes.
then.
Bye.
Bye. So, like we mentioned, today is a big day. WKMG is hitting the road, and our producer, Tiffany Brown, this is her baby, and she has a preview of what to expect out there today. Okay, we're going to get it for you, promise. But in the meantime, we do want to bring in Shantala Boss, who is discussing mental health days with us. She is a licensed counselor and a frequent face when we get to talk about health. Good morning, Shantala.
Good morning, Bridget.
You know, you mentioned that certain generations more likely to take mental health days than any other group in the workforce. So tell us more about this.
Well, Generation Z, a lot of them were graduating during the time of the pandemic. A lot of them were graduating high school or college. So some of them are entering the workforce when everyone was staying home because of the pandemic. So this affected them in a different way than it would any other generation. And they got a lot more information regarding mental health services, mental health conditions. Everything kind of got thrown at them in the last 3 years, which is great. However, unfortunately, I really see this generation as overdiagnosing themselves. They're always on TikTok or Instagram, which there's nothing wrong with that, and the influencers that speak on mental health. However, a lot of those influencers are not mental health counselors themselves, or they're providing these information without a person actually guiding them. They're just looking at the information without really talking with a mental health professional and seeking out those services. So they're overdiagnosing themselves and they're not learning the appropriate coping strategies to deal with those stressors. Instead, they're saying, oh, I need to take some time off. It's not bad to take time off, but I think we need to work with this generation on how to develop more resilience and ask for what we need and talk about our feelings in a way that doesn't derail a career, right?
So,
We enter the workforce, we
yes.
still need to show up.
Right, and it's interesting to me how this phrase has evolved into something that is genuine. It used to be sort of a sarcastic thing. You know, people would say like, "Oh, I need a mental health day," but it wasn't, necessarily that it was a real issue. But I mean, like you said, there are some real mental health days needed sometimes.
Mhm.
So what's really the difference, and how is it, like you said, that you're saying that Z is not necessarily coping in a healthy way, but then some of the older generations seem to be using the proper tools to deal with mental health. So how did it miss Z if
Well,
the previous two generations seem to be acknowledging mental health care more?
it's such a young generation. I think they feel, they can't afford the resources the
Okay.
older generations can. There are a lot of highly cheapened apps and things online that seem great and can offer some support. But I feel like this generation is turning to those things solely and understandably due to financial concerns.
But you can
However,
stay
there
on
I
your
feel like the
parents' insurance till you're like 26 now. So
that
even if you're
till I
unemployed,
just saw
even
it
if
was
you don't
30.
have the job, you can stay till you're
Yeah.
26. So that helps out too in getting help you need.
Well, that and as well as, a lot of jobs have EAP, employee assistance services, where they offer free therapy for their, that's risen so much. Most
Mm-hmm.
insurance panels include mental health, and most
Mm-hmm.
employers really value that. So I think it's more of an educational piece for this generation
Mm-hmm.
on ways that they can seek appropriate services. But they're bombarded with so much information and they're always on their phones that I think they miss that
What if people
sometimes.
are afraid of
As,
like being labeled? Like I said, it used to be more of a sarcastic phrase. What
mhm.
what can we do to like increase awareness and sort of erase the stigma around that discussion so that people feel safe and comfortable enough to approach getting help?
Well, Gen Z, I was just reading a study, and like 80% are more comfortable talking about mental health conditions than any other generation. So I think that we're breaking that stigma, and I think it's getting better.
Okay.
Just having those conversations and learning ways to cope at work, learning strategies for de-escalating stress. Because, like we were talking about earlier, it's good to take a mental health day, but sometimes if we're dealing with depression or anxiety, we need that norm in our life. We need that schedule. We need to show up. Maybe we aren't operating at 100%, but we're still there and we're around other people. Alienating
Mm-hmm.
oneself due to anxiety can actually make it worse. So it's figuring
Mm-hmm.
out when it's appropriate to take time for oneself.
So how do you measure that? What is it? Is it a scale that you need to sort of ask yourself on a daily basis, or when you're feeling like you want to call out? How can you sort of reflect and gather, like, is this something I can push through, or do I need to make a call, or what is the litmus test there?
Sometimes maybe baby steps and maybe showing up and seeing how a person feels and kind
Mm-hmm.
of, keeping open communication with your employer regarding
Mm-hmm.
your emotional state. Of this generation's more feeling like they can talk about those things. Also, just having something that drives a person. I think a lot of times what happens with Gen Z is they're disillusioned with the workforce. They enter it and they feel like, they can't live on their own because they can't afford it. Jobs entering the workforce are not paying very much. So
Mm-hmm.
figuring out what drives them, long-term goals and dreams, and why are they here, so that they can see the bigger picture. They're so instant gratification. They're so used to that. So be able to see a bigger picture and taking small steps to get there, instead of looking at it as, this whole huge menacing thing that I have to face today. And that just takes time and a lot of self-reflection. But I think it is definitely something that we can work on and work towards, because it's a highly educational thing. But Gen Z's all over the internet looking at these things, and we just need to talk about it more.
And you mentioned, some of the unhealthy coping and habits that can form, and that can sort of create a snowball effect. So, what can we do to reflect on some of the things that might be contributing to not being able to sort of overcome the negative feelings that might be weighing a person down?
Well, a lot of times there's communication breakdown. What I'm seeing often is that they're lacking the ability to talk to other people and really connect. And we as humans really need that. So really prioritizing not only their mental health if they need to step back from work, but also spending time with people, getting out of the house, getting off their phones. It's so easy to feel like we've socialized when we're in front of a screen when we really haven't.
Yeah.
So really practicing being mindful, being present, and experiencing life outside of a screen. It's highly important for dealing with coping strategies for this generation.
Right. And what about when it comes to substances and diet and exercise, and just how much those things can make a big difference, even if it's just, incorporating a few changes?
And it's so hard to do that sometimes because we don't see the change right away. So I think what happens is we can become overwhelmed. We try all these different things. I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do this. So what I like to tell my clients is, have two things you really focus on this week that you want to better for your own overall health, and just do those two things and see how you feel and what changes, instead of overwhelming themselves. Because you're right, all these things make a difference: processed food, lack of sleep, not being around friends or doing things that we enjoy. We kind of get stuck in a routine and we forget those things, and then I think we think, oh, we just need to take a day off. But really, it's kind of a lifestyle. We have to make changes overall so that we don't have a continuing issue with coming into work or getting things done.
All right. So, what's the big takeaway with mental health days? They're okay, but in moderation, and also observing when it's something more serious, or what would be your best advice with how we look at that?
I think it's learning resilience. It's learning that we all struggle with our mental health, just like we do health, right? We're human and we have a brain. So we're all going to struggle. We're all going to have bad days. Recognizing that, but pushing ourselves through and understanding ourselves a little better. So self-awareness is a real takeaway. And the good thing is this generation is very good at that and talking about it. So I'm very hopeful that these things are going to get better.
Awesome. And where can we go for some more information? I know this was a new study, so this is online
Mhm.
about the Generation Z and the mental health days. And what else can we do to, find some more helpful information, Shantala?
Psychology Today has a lot of resources as well as information on mental health counselors, and that's a great place to start.
Awesome.
So
And are you taking new clients still?
I am,
Okay,
and I'm in person. So
great.
I work for Boss Wellness as my company, so I definitely am available.
Awesome. All
Yeah.
ages or
Yes, I
okay,
see adolescents and young
okay.
adults, and we also have other therapists that see the young kids, like 5 to 12.
Awesome. Awesome. Well,
Yes.
thank you so much for being with us again, and we'll see
Thank
you
you.
soon.
Thanks for having me. All
All
right.
right. Be
Bye.
well. All right. So we do have that preview of WKMG hits the road. Here's Tiffany.
Hi, I'm News 6 producer Tiffany Brown, outside of Rio Pinar Golf. It is the place to be for WKMG Hits the Road. You'll want to make sure you get out here from 4 to 7 to see the stories that you told us you wanted us to cover. You'll also have the opportunity to speak with our anchors, our reporters, and our investigators when they're not live on set, and have the opportunity to get a pretty cool swag bag. But if you're wondering what it looks like inside, you've never been here before, let me show you what you can expect. After you hop out of the car, just walk up to the front door and we'll have a team there to greet you. Once you come inside, there's plenty of space to sit down. Feel free to order some food or even a drink. Our news desk will be right there in the middle. And Chief Meteorologist Tom Searles will be out there on the green doing the weather. The University High School Band is also going to be out here performing. If you just want to relax though, there's plenty of comfy seating right over here. Or you can hang out in the Oak Room. The News 6 team will be at Rio Pinar Golf from 4 until 7. So come out, check out the live broadcast where we cover the stories you told us that you wanted us to cover. You can also meet the anchors, investigators, and reporters. We'll see you there.
Hey, you might see me there. I'm mapping it right now, 25 minutes right now from WKMG. So come out between 4 and 7, say hi, grab a bite, maybe just come out and grab some dinner and chit chat with us. Tell us about some of your story ideas. We'd love to see you. And this is just the beginning. So we're starting at 32825 tonight at Rio Pinar. So we'll see you there. And we want to get to a few of the big stories today. Big breaking news when it comes to Super Tuesday. It was a sweep for former President Trump, and Nikki Haley has now suspended her campaign. And this is something that, we have been following close. So things are heating up now with this morning, and we will keep you posted on the campaign trail. It was also a big night for President Biden. So those are the big stories right now. These victories, though, now make it almost certain that Trump will get the GOP nomination, of course, and be in a rematch with President Biden. And Haley didn't speak last night, but again, she is suspending her campaign according to the Associated Press. So look for more updates throughout the day on clickorlando.com on your politics and results 2024. In Orange County Public Schools, they finally reached a big deal with the teachers union after months of negotiations. Yesterday, the meeting went on for 9 hours, but they hashed out a new contract deal with the union. So it includes historic raises of almost 10%. The insurance rates were a sticking point. Now, they are still going to go up some, but the district made a concession, agreeing to cover half of that increase in health care cost at the start, and the full hike not taking effect until the 2025-26 school year. So that's some good news for our teachers in Orange County Public Schools. So we're glad to hear about that this morning. Now, when it comes to some more health news, which I always love, we're going to go to the sodas. Are we going to sodas? Okay, we're going to go to sodas. I like a good Diet Dr. Pepper. Trooper Steve likes Coke Zero. Maybe you have your favorite diet drink, but unfortunately, while you're trying to save on sugar and carbs, some not so good news. They're saying that it increases your risk for AFib. So we just can't win. We cannot win with this. So they're saying that these sugary beverages, the ones with real sugar, actually, they have their own complications, but the AFib risk goes up by 20% with drinking a medium-sized diet soda every day. This is according to research in Japan, and they take their health seriously in Japan as well. So this is something to really take heed to. So whether it's sugary beverages or diet, it's just not a great idea. They say that your risk still goes up for AFib 10% with a full sugar drink. So just try to drink more water. That's what we're all trying to do, right? Then when it comes to the emojis, I don't know if you've noticed this, but if you've done your updates with your Apples and Androids, there's some new emojis out there. So several new options. Apple rolling out the latest software, complete with some new additions there. And this is going to be, well, there's lots of different, these are the main 6 people are talking about: the break chain, the mushroom, the yes, no nod. What else was there? Oh, rising from the ashes, the phoenix rising from the ashes. So that's that is very interesting there. So we're we're gonna have to learn some new emojis there. But do we have time for one more? We gotta go. What you want to do? What do you want to do? Want to do credit cards? Yeah, credit card fees. Hey, President Biden is working on some lower credit card fees and putting a cap on them because we know that they can get pretty steep. I don't know if you've noticed this, but they're working on that cap. They're trying to see the credit card companies aren't really wanting to hear this, but that is something that they're working on to get those fees down. And we're going to see if the cap can be no more than $200 a year, or it could save $200 a year. But the late payment fee is about an average of $32. They want to make, the White House wants to make the new maximum fee just $8. So we'll see how that goes. But it's definitely a bummer when you miss a payment, and then on top of that, you've got a hefty fee, and it does rack up. It really does rack up. So we are going to wrap it up, or do we have time for the top cars? Let's wrap it up. Oh, Donovan says I have to wrap. I really wanted to talk to you about the top cars, but we'll try. We'll try it. We'll try tomorrow. We'll try tomorrow. We're also going to talk about springing forward tomorrow, because I dread springing forward because I have to be to work at 4 a.m. A lot of people like springing forward, like the kids. So we'll talk to a doctor tomorrow from Orlando Health on how to help the family, help the children transition with springing forward. And it's, there's some techniques still to work on, but it is coming whether we like it or not. So we'll talk to them tomorrow. Maybe we'll get the top cars tomorrow. Hope to see you out there at Rio Pinard today from 4 to 7 p.m. Weather-wise with meteorologist Jonathan Kegis is up next. Make it a great day, and we'll see you back here for breakfast tomorrow at 7:30.